Hey, Shalom, Yashala. All praise to you. All praise to Yahawashi, man. I'm just laughing to myself, man. Just thinking, man, like some of y'all brothers out there, man, some of y'all sisters, y'all just look for reasons and create reasons and make up reasons to create some sort of division or to make yourself seem like you so righteous and you so perfect and you're so holy that you just totally break the law and just start throwing around anything that you can get your hands across that seems like it condemns somebody else, man. And that ain't right, man. And the Most High is gonna deal with y'all brothers and sisters that's doing that, man. Meaning what? Meaning that, Most High, he got stuff set up, the way he wanted set up, man. And like I said, man, a lot of y'all, you just out there make stuff. I mean, you literally, no metaphor. You are literally just making up stuff because you got something in your brain that's telling you a lie. And instead of going through the proper biblical protocol to establish whether something is true or whether something is not, you just take, your own mind and create a judgment that suits your suspicion. And the Most High is against that. And if I'm talking to you out there, and if I gotta pull up scriptures about that, forgive me, but you an idiot. If I gotta show you scripture to show that you need to investigate something first and not just go off of your suspicion when you saying something wrong against somebody, then you just an idiot, man. You just stupid. You just a stupid idiot. I'm gonna say that right now. I love you, but you're just being stupid. You're just being stupid and you're being idiotic. Let me say it like that. You're being stupid and you're being idiotic. Because a lot of people, just like I said, they make up stuff. They have thoughts, in their own brains. And when they get these thoughts in your own brain, they put the burden on you to disprove those thoughts that are in their brain, man. And that's the same thing that the so-called white man does when he takes you to court. So many people try to distance themselves from the white man, but they do the same exact thing that the American court system has been doing to our people since day one. Meaning what? They make us guilty until we can prove to them that we're innocent. And I'm not really playing that game with no brothers, man. I'm not playing that game with no brothers, and we shouldn't have to play that game with our brothers, with our brothers. If I come up to you and I ask you, hey bro, you gay? And you be like, man, why you asking me that? Or you ignore me. You ignore me, or you not answering me, or you not hear the question I asked you, or you might have even seen the letter that I wrote you asking you that question. That does not mean that it's true what I'm thinking in my brain. And that's why Yahawashi said, be very careful. Don't bear false witness against the children of your people, man. Why? When you bear false witness against somebody, you bring spiritual death upon yourself. Why do I say that? Because the penalty for you lying on somebody is a punishment that is upon you. So the more you do that, the more you bring spiritual death. You subtract from your own soul, depending on what the judgment was that was supposed to come on the person for the crime that they committed against the Most High, against Yahweh. Some things there were no penalties written for certain. There was no penalty written for you cutting your beard or whatever, but there is a penalty for you, breaking the Sabbath or something like that. Okay, so the point I'm making, man, is just funny because you have these sisters and brothers out here in Yasharala, and they just making up things. Y'all need to stop it, man. So take this message to whoever you need to take it to. Stop making up stuff about people and calling it the truth until they call you and say, no, brother, that's not true. I didn't do this, or that's not true what you asked me about. All right. That's not true what you accused me of, what you said about me. Because the Most High said what? The Most High said you ain't supposed to open your mouth in no proceedings to try to accuse somebody of something unless there's two witnesses, man. All right. So I'm not gonna call no names about anybody's personal or private situation out there. I just had to laugh, man, because people put themselves out there to be so righteous and so pure and so untainted, and they say stuff like, "Oh, of course you're gonna treat me like this because I'm doing the right thing and you doing it wrong." And they kind of exalt themselves up. But remember, the Most High said, if you seek to exalt yourself, you're gonna fall. When you seek to humble yourself, then you shall be exalted by Yahweh. All right, through the power of Yahawashi, Hamashiach. So, man, I used to be bothered, man, but man, y'all don't know what I've been through this past 18 months. So it don't even bother me when people say stuff about other brothers or other sisters that's not true. What bothers me more than anything is the complacency and the neutrality that brothers and sisters take when injustice is surely being committed. That's what bothers me. People's feelings and how they think about stuff, that doesn't really bother me. I don't really care about that. What bothers me is that when you see or when you know that something is being done and you don't know whether it was done in order, you just co-sign on it. In other words, a brother can say, yeah, I had to get rid of this brother out of my house because he was getting up at night, stealing all the ice cream and eating all the ice cream. And you might say, well, who did that? Well, man, Parashah, man, he was in my house, man. Every morning I get up, brother, there's a half gallon of ice cream gone. You see what I'm saying? And you say, man, that's wrong. So what you do, you take what that person is saying at face value and you believe it. It's almost like the early bird gets the worm. Whoever comes to you first with dilemma is the one that you want to believe first. Just like when you go to court for a protection order or a civil protection order, whatever. All right. So when you do that, whoever goes first, bam, is granted. The temporary one is granted until you go back for the official hearing. So if that person violates that thing within that time frame between the time you file it and the time that you have a hearing, then bam, it's done. They get processed for it. So, you really have to be careful when we're dealing right now, man. And I'm watching a lot of brothers, I'm watching a lot of you sisters. I'm just watching your little worlds on Facebook. I'm watching your comments. I'm watching stuff I see on other people's posts. Minding my business, not really interjecting too much, except when I see something that's wrong being done or said against a brother or sister, and I'll speak up. I'll speak up for justice and for righteousness. And a lot of you brothers and sisters, when I speak up for righteousness or justice, you may mistake something like that for complacency or for collusion or for compliance to evil, or for being in agreement with something wrong, being done. But you can't take it like that, man. There's some of us that's genuinely not persuaded by what we read on people's posts about somebody else. Genuinely not persuaded. There's some of us that genuinely still adhere to the biblical process of witnesses and evidence before condemnation. All right. Keep your opinion, your feelings about somebody in regards to what they did right or wrong out of Facebook. That ain't the place for it. Keep your feelings and opinions about sins that somebody committed out of Facebook. Now, if you want to say, yeah, me and his brother went to eat or whatever, and brother told me he got the money to pay for it, you don't want to pay for it. All right? He don't want to pay for it. He wanted me to pay for it. Okay, well, that you feel that way. You might even say that that's if it's the truth. But you can't condemn somebody for not wanting to do that. I'm just giving a silly example. But man, it's ridiculous. Brothers and sisters would literally sit back and try to just think of things and throw all type of scriptures out there to try to justify. But anyway, don't do that, Yashadallah. You know, judge righteous judgment. So right now, as you all know, we're in the 4th day of the week, and we in the 8th day of the month, the 13th month, and we have 23 more nights until the first month of the year. Also, we have 36 more nights and 36 more afternoons until we go into the Passover. 36 more nights and 36 more afternoons. And as that sun begins to set, all right, we're going to go into the 30, as that sun begins to set, in 37 more nights, 37 more nights we enter into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Hallelujah. Okay, so Shema Yasharallah, Yahweh, Eloheinu, Yahweh Chad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our power, Yahweh is one. All right. Yabaraka come Yahweh, Bashem HaMashiach, Yahawashi. Yahweh bless you in the name of Yahawashi. And I'm just saying this, man. I'm telling you, some of y'all brothers and sisters out there, you know, y'all need to really reanalyze how you do things. Because some of y'all parents was on drugs, you know, had addiction issues, had mental issues when they were pregnant with you. So you really need to pray that the Most High really release them spirits from you, man. You need to pray that the Most High help make you whole, because a lot of y'all are in denial. A lot of y'all may look at a parent and know that your parent or your sister or your brother, you may know that your close family is not wrapped too tight, and you'll deny it, and then you'll start to display those same types of paranoia, those same types of antisocial or sociopathic behavior, and you'll think it's you being righteous or you standing firm for what you believe in, not knowing that it's just you entertaining them same spirits that's vexing your family. So you got to stop doing that. All right, you got to stop doing that. And a lot of you brothers and sisters out there, man, you still smoking weed, you still drinking weed, you still, you know, you still smoking, getting high off of tobacco, you still getting high and drunk off of alcohol. All right, you still getting high and drunk off of a lot of things that you ain't supposed to be dealing with, man. And then you comes trying to deal and represent the Most High, and it don't work like that, man. The Most High is going to expose that. So you stop doing those things. Stop dealing with substances. When you're dealing with the work of the Most High and you're trying to be righteous and upright and you striving for obedience, stop dealing with substance and substance abuse. You don't gotta drink a fifth of liquor every other day. That's killing your body, man. You don't gotta smoke a cigarette, dip, snuff, all right, or vape, taking nicotine into your system. All right. You don't have to sniff cocaine or drink cough syrup. All right. You don't have to be, popping mollies. All right. MDMS. All right. You don't have to to be using different forms of cannabis, of marijuana to get high and to offset your sobriety. You don't got to do those things, man. The Most High and His word is sufficient high that you need, man. So deal with His word. Wean yourself off of all of those things, because I see a lot of you brothers and sisters online, man, And I see that a lot of y'all have some mental and spiritual, and you have some dependency issues, man. Whether it's personality dependency issues, or whether it's substance dependency issues, or whether it's constantly seeking attention and constantly seeking people's approval, or constantly seeking for people to respond to things that you say. How many likes, how many comments, how many shares you have. That's all carnal, man. If I, put out something, the one person that's supposed to see it could be the only person that viewed that video, and that's cool. Because at the end of the day, if we're doing this work for Yahawashi, he's the one going to say, well done, thou good and faithful servant, man. But a lot of y'all, I'm not going to say it's because of low self-esteem. A lot of y'all just messy. You want everybody in your business, and you want to be in everybody's business. You want everybody to have a front row seat to your life. And if you want to do that, cool. But the Most High talks about, especially a woman, supposed to have a meek and quiet spirit. And it's not meek and quiet for you to be telling everybody everything you're doing at every few hours of the day. All right. Okay, Chan Souza. I like that, man. I like that. I like the moon in front of the sun that you got right there. That's a good new moon right there. Hallelujah. All right. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with Leviticus chapter 2, verses 7 through 16. All right. So here we go. So this is dealing with the grain, different types of grain or meal sacrifices or offerings to Yahweh. This is the Korban or the Korban. All right. So this is the sacrifice. All right. So now it says, if your sacrifice is a meal offering made in a deep pot, it may be made with fine flour with oil. So like it's gonna bubble inside the oil, right? So it's gonna be like almost like it's being baked. Thus you shall bring the meal offering, which shall be made from these types, to Yahweh, and he shall bring it to the Cohen. All right, he shall bring it to the Cohen, and he shall bring it close to the altar. Okay, so that person brings it and then bring it to the priest, and then the priest takes it to the altar. And the Cohen shall lift out from the meal offering its reminder and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar. It is a fire offering with a pleasing fragrance to Yahweh. And what remains of the meal offering shall belong to Aharon and his descendants. It is holy of holies from the fire offerings of Yahweh. No meal offering that you sacrifice to Yahweh shall be made of anything leavened, for you shall not cause to go up in smoke any leavening or any honey as a fire offering to Yahweh. However, you shall bring them as a first fruit offering to Yahweh. Nevertheless, they shall not go up on the altar as a pleasing fragrance to Yahweh. Verse 13, and you shall salt every one of your meal offering sacrifices with salt, and you shall not omit the salt of your Elohim's covenant from being placed upon your meal offerings. You shall offer salt on all your sacrifices. When you bring a meal offering of the first grains to Yahweh, you shall bring your first grain meal offering from barley, as soon as it ripens, parched over the fire, kernels full in their husks, ground into coarse meal. Okay. And you shall put oil on it and place frankincense upon it. It is a meal offering or grain offering. Then the Kohen, the Kahan, the priest, shall cause its reminder to go up in smoke, taken from its coarse meal and from its oil with all its frankincense. It is a fire offering to Yahweh. Okay. All right. So that's the reading for the Torah portion, and we're in Leviticus. So in Leviticus, it gets a lot of details in Leviticus how to do different things, right? If we start looking at verse 7, where we started out at, okay, it tells us that this is the deep pan meal offering, all right? Is historically it said that the pan was narrow and deep, and the oil would stay in the pan, all right, and the fried offering would be soft, all right. Now, fine flour oil, all of the meal offerings, that was the first step, all right. The oil was poured, and then the flour was poured onto the oil, and then they would pour the oil on the flour and mix it, and then the oil was put into the mixture. Okay, so let's break it down again. First, the oil was poured into something like a little container, and then the flour was poured onto the oil. So flour was poured onto the oil. So you got the oil at the bottom, flour was on top of it. All right, so next step, okay, was to pour oil on the flour. So you pour more oil on top of the flour, and then you would mix it. And then finally, the oil was poured onto that mixture. Right? Almost like if you're making like maybe some kind of dumplings or something. Or donuts, like how you got the Chinese dumplings and donuts. They have the oil and they mix the flour, then put a little bit more oil and mix that up, then put more oil on it. Okay, so something was done like that. All right. So now the priest, when you look at verse 9 right here, the priest will lift up a little bit of the grains up, and he put it on the fire. Right? He put it on the fire. All right, so he would put that on the fire. So now let's go into this. 12, the first fruits right there. All right, so when you get into the first fruits, this is actually getting into the Shabbat, which is called the Feast of the First Fruits. Okay. The Shabbat, which is the Feast of Weeks, which is also called the first fruits. I'm going to read to you a Kumas commentary. It says, as an offering of first fruit, leaven and fruit may be used for 2 offerings, both of which are described as first fruit offerings, the Bikurim, which are the first produce of the 7 species, for which the land of Yashar'Allah is praised in Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 1 through 11. All right, and then remember you had the 2 leavened loaves of wheat that were offered on Shabbat or Shabbat or Pentecost. Leviticus 23:17 goes into that. All right. All right, so now we know this salt is dealing with the covenant, the protection. Salt helps to, from wounds, also season, and also kind of when you go into Yahawashi, he said we're the salt of the earth. So having that salt in every offering actually goes into us being symbolized with those offerings back then. The children of Yashar'Allah being remembered in every offering that goes up to the Most High. All right, every offering goes up to the Most High. Now, on the second day of Passover, looking at verse 14, remember those first grains were offered up to the Most High. on the 16th of Abib. All right, the second day of Pesach, the second day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread on the 16th. All right, when they did the offering for the grain crops was bought. Okay, and this was brought for the whole nation, for all of Yasha'Allah. Right. So now, when you get into this dealing with grain, and you see a couple of times right here, up here, grain, and then it talks about a offering. All right, talks about the offering. All right. You got the offering. It talked about it. Let's get that again. Offering from the harvest is what I'm talking about. So bringing your first grains. Like she talked about the first grain. So that's dealing with like a harvesting period. Your first grain meal offerings. All right, that's the first grain meal offering right there. All right, that's in verse 14. And then when we look at the meal offering made by these types, the Kohen, the priest, lifts it up to the Most High. Over here, we have the first fruits. All right, so it says bring them. It says korban with the ashath. So it's the first offerings with the ashath. All right, da korban, you shall bring them atham la Yahweh, bring them to Yahweh. So we have two things that you bring up as offerings that's dealing with harvest. Like Yahawashi, I said, the harvest is plentiful, but the what? But the laborers are few. All right, so that takes me over to Psalm 72 real quick. You know, just dealing with grains and showing you a parallel real quick. I think we're going to go down to verse 16. You need to read this whole Psalm 72 because it's all about Yahawashi. The whole thing is about Yahawashi. So now listen what it says. It says there will be an abundance, even though most sources have abundance, even though the King James says fistful. This is after Yahawashi's reign starts. That there will be an abundance of grain, bar, which is grain, all right, like different kernels of grain upon the earth, in the earth. All right. Then it says in the earth. Then it says on the top of the mountains. The top. All right. The top of the mountains. To the top of the mountains. All right. So shall wave like Lebanon. All right. So the fruits, the grain at the top of the mountain, the tops of the mountains shall wave like Lebanon. So the grain that's going to be at the top of the mountain is going to wave like Lebanon. I mean, it's going to be a lot of grain. Then it says its fruit. All right. The fruit from the mountains of flourish or flower. See that? That's where you get the word fringes from. Tazayatizath right here. It says wa ya tzayatizath wa. Right? They say wa ya zisu, but it says wa ya tzayatizawa. All right, of the city or from the city. So from the mountains to the city, the grain and the produce, everything is gonna flourish. All right. And that means that no matter how high up it is, the high elevations, you know, or in the city areas that are going to be maybe closer toward the valley or plain areas, or even cities on tops of the mountains. So from the mountains to the cities, all right, everything is going to be flourishing. The fruit is going to be, you know, everywhere. There's going to be no drought unless, you know, going into Zechariah chapter 12. unless you a Gentile nation. 14:12. Unless you're a Gentile nation and you don't want to come up for the feast. You can go Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12, all the way down to verse 17. So when they don't want to come up, the Most High said He's not going to give them rain. So let me go into this just a little bit. It's about Yahawashi. But I wanted to go to verse 16 here because it shows you that in the reign of Yahawashi, all of the agriculture, all of the farming, everything's going to be put back in order. And there's not going to be any type of famine or droughts upon the earth unless the people that are getting that drought or famine didn't want to keep the commandments. All right. It says the Song of Solomon, a psalm of Solomon. Right. Or 4. It says, Allahayim, your judgments give the king, and your righteousness to the son of the king. Who is the son of the king? Solomon. But David, the Wad, is going to actually go into the spirit and start talking about Yahawashi, Hamashiach in this psalm. All right. I'm going to just go over it superficially. We're not going to get too deep in it. You know, I'm up. I had a long day doing a lot of different stuff. So I didn't get to this as early as I would want to. But nonetheless, we shall proceed. You will judge your people. Who is going to judge the people? All right. Ban Malak. Ban Malak is talking about one, Solomon, which is the king's son. And then in the spirit is going to the book of Zechariah when it talks about Yahawashi, who was the son of Josedek, which is Yah Tzadak. Yahweh is righteousness. Tzadak. Yahweh is righteous, which is Yahawashi. Same thing. All right. He will judge your people with righteousness, and your poor or the humble, those that have been brought low, the afflicted, with justice. But it says with true judgment. See that? And that's what I was talking about earlier, man. A lot of y'all brothers out there, you casting false judgments on people, man. This is the season of false judgments, man. You perverting judgment. Shalom, David, Dawad, David. A lot of y'all brothers are falsely accusing your own brothers, man, and you think that you're being the servants of Hamashiach Yahawashi. You think that you're representing Hamashiach Yahawashi. You think you're serving Yahweh, but you're not, man. You're serving your own ego, and you're serving your own created imaginary righteousness. So this king, Yahawashi, is going to come and show you what proper judgment is. You see that how they wrote justice? That word right here is mashapat, which means proper judgment. All right. See the word shapat right there. Shapat. Let me see. Did they give it? Let's see. Okay, shapat, judgment, justice, ordinance. Okay. So shapat, mashapat. Which is what? Which is the last pillar of wisdom before you get to wisdom, the sixth pillar, judgment. Then it says, we'll bring the mountains peace to the people. Now we just read about those mountains, right? In verse 16. All right. To the people and the little hills by righteousness. So his righteousness is going to bring peace, all right, to everything. Right? The mountains are going to bring us peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. All right? So everything, the little hills, the mountains, the people, everything's going to be righteous. All right, verse 4. He, talking about Yahawashi, the son of the king, he will bring what? Yashapat. He will bring judgment to the poor. I mean, he's going to make sure that the poor are looked out for. No more oppressing, no more murdering, no more kidnapping and selling body parts. He will bring justice to the poor of the people. He will save the sons of the needy. Right? He will break in pieces the oppressor. All right. So all of these people that are oppressing the children of Yasharallah, the Most High Son is going to come out bring oppression to them. All right. So don't even trip if you're going through a little bit of situation. I know right now these things are written for our comfort, to know that what we're going through, our people are not going to be going through these situations for good and forever. That Yahweh will deliver our people, the children of Yashala. Okay. They shall fear you as long as the sun, and endure the moon. All right, generations, they got time. Generations to generations. All right. So as long as the sun, all right, and endure the moon, Yarak and Shamash, let you know. A lot of people get over righteous. See, we ain't gonna have no moon and sun, but the Most High says, as long as the sun and the moon is there, that there's gonna be fear of Yahawashi. So the sun, we know is gonna be there, and the moon, we know is gonna be there. Even though the scripture says there's no moon and no sun, you know, we don't understand that. Some of us don't. And then some of us say, well, one is in the fourth and one is in the third dimension, right? But through generations, everybody's going to fear him. And nobody's going to get out of line. He shall come down like rain upon mown grass, like showers that water the earth. So the rain upon mown grass, so you enjoy that level grass, that level field for a minute, but then when the rain comes down, it replenishes and causes it to grow again. This natural cycle of life. That's how Yahawashi is going to be upon all of us. Something happens, something goes down, you know, something is taken away. Yahawashi is going to constantly be replenishing the earth with life, with growth, with positivity, good things. All right. Shall flourish in his day the righteous and abundance. Wa Rab Shalom, all right, Aid Aliyah Yarak, right? In his days, righteousness is going to flourish. Abundance, all right? Rab, which means great, a lot. So great righteousness. Tzadayak, in his time. Let's say Sadiq. So righteousness and abundance. Righteousness is going to flourish. And so much tranquility, completeness. All right. So much things being resolved righteously. All right. As long as the moon there, it's going to happen. He shall have the minion. My yum aid yum, from sea to sea. That means the whole earth. Right. And it says from the river to the ends of the earth. That's everywhere. Wherever there's water, seas, rivers, or earth, that's going to be the dominion of Yahawashi HaMashiach. Before him will abide those who dwell in the wilderness, and his enemies the dust will lick. So his enemies shall lick up the dust, and they're going to bow down to him. All right. Now this wilderness they're talking about, all right, talking about certain kinds of animal or certain kind of people that's in desert or wherever. So this is not a word that we see a lot when it usually for wilderness we see midbar, but this is a different word, right? A desert dweller, a crier, yelper, right? Sounds like people that's kind of going into some of the Hebraic nomadic families that make those yelps and cries and stuff with their mouth. But they're gonna bow before him too. Meaning what? It ain't gonna be no isolated. I'm by myself. I'm autonomous over here. I'm isolated from the rest of the world. Leave me alone. Like the what's it? The Andaman Islands. All right, those people over there, off the coast of India, by themselves. That shot that Edomite Gentile guy with a bow and arrow because he went too close to them. All right. Boat. So the Most High said ain't gonna be none of that. You doing your own thing over by yourself. Everybody's gonna be accounted for and submitting to Yahawashi. and all his enemies gonna lick the dust. Okay? The kings of Tarshish and of the isles presents will bring. The kings of Sheba and Seba. See that? Shabah and Sabah, two different things. Gifts will offer. All right. This is getting into the Sheba, and this is getting into the Sabians. All right. Remember, you have for Sheba and Saba, you have some that come from Shem, and then you have these two names with Shem's descendants, and then the same names with Ham's descendants. All right. And yes, shall fall down before him all kings, all nations shall serve him. So we serve Yahawashi. So the other nation is going to serve Yahawashi the same way as we serve Yahawashi. So we're going to serve, and they're going to serve. All nations going to serve him. Well, actually, it says all, yeah, you can say all nations, but Gawayim, which means nation. So Kal Gawayim, or Kal Gawayim are going to serve him. So all the Gentiles are going to serve him. Right? For he will deliver Kaya, all right, Yatzayal, Abyawan, Mashawai, Wa, Anya, La Ayan, Izar, Lawa. He will deliver the needy when he cries, and the poor, and no helper, and no person that has people that have no helper. So a lot of these going back, man, is talking about everybody's gonna fall down to him. Kings of the nations. Then it says why? Because of this. 4, they're gonna worship him out of fear and also respect. All nations right now are in a position where somebody, most of the people in them nations are being oppressed and need deliverance. Believe me, right? Most of the people in all these different countries are living in extreme poverty, living in extreme oppression, living in extreme corruption, open corruption. Nobody can do nothing about it. It shows Israel being oppressed, but the other nations being oppressed by their own people too. We just being oppressed for a reason, because we had to be brought low because of our disobedience to Yahweh. The other nations being oppressed because they people just wicked toward their own people. All right. And because we're not in power. Okay. Why do you think the scripture says that the whole world is for you, O son of Jacob? The whole world is waiting for you, O son of Israel, to do what? To manifest, man. To manifest and to put all things in order. Right? The whole world is waiting for you, children of Yasharahla, to rise up. All right? Show you that in Romans chapter 8, verse 19. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh. So the creatures are waiting for us to manifest. That's what it means when it said Yahweh shall deliver the needy when he cries, and the poor, right, that has no helper. Wa'ayan izad lawa, the poor, and there is no help to him or for him. So this is why the Gawoyim up here are going to be bowing down and serving. That's one of the reasons. All right. It says Ibad Wahi Awa. So Ibad meaning to serve right there. All right. I'm not really a partner. I hope to learn sometime soon, but if you look at certain root word, you can get an understanding of what it's saying. All right. Because we see, like, you know, right here, we see the prefix, and we see the prefix right there. Right, the yod, the yad, and the yad. We see shatak, meaning to fall down, right? Prostrate, bow down. Then we see ibad, which means to serve. Okay. So malak, which means to rule. So we see these different words, and you can start to recognize the root word, even if you can't parse it, but then you start to maybe recognize some of the prefixes and suffixes in the words. Right. So in Romans chapter 8, verse 19, it says, for the earnest expectation, meaning they really, really deep down inside of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim. But they've been told, oh, it's going to be this person from this religion, this person from this religion. But the scripture says they're waiting for the sons of Elohim, of Yahweh. For verse 20, for the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the what? From the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yasharallah. A lot of y'all think y'all gonna be beating on Gentiles forever. The Most High said through the Holy Spirit and Paul, it says in Romans 8, it says that they're gonna be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of Yasharallah. So we're going to bring them glorious liberty, and we're going to free them from what? From their bonds of corruption. From their bonds of corruption. The bondage of corruption that they're under now. All right. So we're going to be top ranking. We're going to make sure everybody else is doing the right thing in the eyes of the Most High. Getting to Yahawashi now. But now they're going to bow down and come and worship Yahawashi. But remember, Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19 and 20, Yasharallah is going to be his battle axe and weapons of war. Right, verse 12, for he will deliver the needy when he cries. Right? And the poor. And none help to him, the person has no helper. Right? He will spare on the poor and needy. And the souls of the needy. Wanapashwath, the needy. All right? Those that are in need, he will save. So this is talking about a man saving people's souls that are in need and who have poor spirits. He will spare the poor and needy. And that's how people around the globe, how many people of the children of Yasharallah are poor and needy. You know, and I often think about this, man, like when you go into a lot of these countries, yes, our people are suffering in a lot of these different countries, man. Below the bottom of the totem pole, below the bottom of the ladder. I don't want to say totem pole because that's a reference to idolatry. At the last rung of the ladder, still in the soil. A lot of our people are still inside the soil. They haven't even begun to climb up the ladder. And if you climb it now, it's almost too late because our deliverance is nigh. All right? So he will save, right? All right? Yahawashi. Right? So you're going to save people's souls. So Yahawashi is a soul saver. This Ban Malak is a saver of souls. He's a soul saver. Period. Yahawashi saving the souls of the children of Yasharallah and saving the souls of the nations and of those that are needy, and those when Romans chapter 8, right, verse 19 through 20. See, we can't be the sons of God and be the creature that's waiting. We can't be both. It's almost like you got to pick your doctrine or pick the scriptures. Read Romans chapter 8, verse 19 through 21, and ask yourself, who is the creature and who are the sons of God Almighty? Who are the sons of Yahweh? And we looking in the Psalms right now, and we seeing that the Most High is saying that these people, the Goyim, the Gentiles, are going to bow down to him. And it says what? It says he's going to deliver the needy and save the poor that has no helper. All right, now let's go into, we read 13 already. Let's read 14. From oppressions and violence, he will what? Redeem. He will redeem, act as a kinsman, right? Redeem, which is Yagal. Like if, somebody was doing servitude because they didn't have money and they went to work for somebody, you could pay off their debt and get them free. Right? He will redeem. It says what? Their life. Check this out. What did it say? It says napasham. Napash, which means soul. From violence and oppression, he will redeem. Then it says their life. All right. Then it says, and shall be precious their blood in his sight. And shall be precious their blood in his sight. All right. So if it's precious, he's not going to want their blood to get sealed for their sins. Why? Because he's going to what? He's going to spare and save the souls of the needy. So he's going to be a replacement for their blood. It's clear. Verse 13 and 14. Beautiful picture. All right. And he shall live and will be given to him the gold of Sheba. And prayer will be made for him continually all the days he shall be praised. All right. So people are going to be praying for this son of the king every day. All right. Continually, how you want him all day, daily. And he shall be so we're going to be praying for him, and we're going to be praising him or blessing him, actually. It says it's blessed. But what does blessed mean, right? All right. So showing, appreciation and respect toward him. But so we're going to be praying for him. This one individual we're going to be praying for. And we're going to be offering up our prayers for him. And we're going to be blessing him daily. This is what Yahweh have said. So this is linking up to what we just read, believe it or not, in Leviticus. All right. Leviticus chapter 2. Okay, when we're dealing with the grain sacrifices. How? Okay, let's go to the next verse. There will be an abundance of grain in the earth on the tops of the mountains. Shall wave like Lebanon its fruit, and those shall flourish in the city like grass of the earth. Right? So it's going to be beautiful topography, if you will, beautiful landscape. It's going to be fruit of the grains everywhere. Everywhere. No poverty. No lack. Everywhere is going to be bustling with growth and life. All right. And of that abundance, what's going to happen to it? We're going to be bringing sacrifices from our grain. See how it fits in? Sacrifices of our grains are going to be brought to the priesthood, to the temple, and we're going to offer it up to Yahweh. See, everything fits together. Everything fits together. We're going to offer it up to Yahweh. Right. Now, I like teaching with the whiteboard, but I can really get into the scriptures and really break them down better and focus a lot more when I'm not looking at the camera, when I'm actually looking at the text and reading it with my own eyes and can look at the English and look at the Hebrew. I like to teach like that. All right. Maybe I'll start sitting down teaching like that. But I like for you to see it too. I like for you to see it also. I think it helps you learn when you see the words also. It helps me learn when I see them. Right. Verse 17. Shall endure his name forever as long as the sun. All right. Wa bayan. It said Yah bayan. Okay, bayan is like from or understanding. what they have this as. Yanin. It says, he bayan, he will divide, or he will understand. All right. Then it says, shall continue his name and be blessed in him all. This ain't talking about Yahweh now. This is talking about Uriah. And it's not talking about David, because it's talking about the son of the king, Solomon, which is really being used as a metaphor going into the future, dealing with Yahawashi. Now I'm not gonna get into the reincarnation, whether Solomon is Yahawashi and all of that. I'm gonna stick to what the text is saying, and we know it really can't be talking about Solomon in his lifetime, because Solomon died and his name did not endure, and he didn't bring peace upon the whole earth. He didn't rule from the rivers to the seas, right? So his name shall continue for how long? Forever. So this is talking about Yahawashi is going to be what? Forever on the scene. And remember, it said that prayers are going to be offered up to him for him forever also. All right. So we're going to be praying for him forever also. All right. So we're going to be praying for him forever. So continue, because I'm looking at another book, and it doesn't have that word twice right there. Right? It says Yabayan Shamwa wa Yata Barakwa Bawa Khalid Gawayim, and we will bless themselves by him. Okay, so this is they got some different stuff. It says La Panya, as long as before them is the sun Shaman. Then it says Ya Bawan, then has it in parentheses. Yabayan, it says Yabayan, has in parentheses. But then it has Shamwa, right here. Then it says Wa Yatabarakwa, and they shall be blessed by Wa in him, all nations. Man, that's deep right there. Wa Ashad Wa, and this will call him Ashar Hawa. Ashar means happy. People, they have blessed a lot of times, but it actually means happy. But they say it should go straight. They getting it from another root word too, looks like. But anyway, well, actually they have it right here. If you look on the that last part, it says BR 1C2, and shall call him happy. Right, so this is going into Yahawashi, everybody. This is not going into just a regular man. Shalom, Cletus. Koshashin Yah. This is talking about Yahawashi. All right, let's go again. And shall endure his name forever, as long as the sun continues or endures. His name shall be blessed. So men are going to bless his name. His name shall be blessed. Continue his name. And shall be blessed to him all nations. You'll call him blessed. So the people are going to be blessed. It says Gawoyim, which means the Gentiles, the other nations, not just Yasharallah, but everybody is going to be blessed when Yahawashi steps on the scene. Now we know there's going to be some type of chastisements and punishments that some of the members of the nation are going to have to pay. But we also see what this is saying, that the nation are going to be blessed in him, and that they're going to call him happy, or a form of blessing. It's 18. Blessed be Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh the powers, the power of Yasharallah, who does Aisha. I'm not going to just say what it says. It says wonderful, right? Wonderful things, exclusively or alone, all right? Exclusively or alone. Praise the Most High, say. And then it says, say, blessed be and blessed be the name, his glorious forever. And let be filled with his glory, all right? Chabuadwa, with his glory, all the earth, Aman and Aman, are ended the prayers of the Wad Ban Yashia, son of Jesse. So this is a prayer that David wrote, and that prophecy that he wrote, right? And we know that Yahweh is the one that's going to fulfill this, man. So don't forget about Yahawashi Hamashiach, right? Every time we talk about Yahawashi, and every time we talk about Israel and salvation, we should always remember that Yahawashi is the reason that we have a little bit of grace, mercy, and favor from Yahweh. That Yahawashi is the King of Kings, and he is the Adawan of Adawan, meaning the Lord of Lords. He is over all things in creation right now. So we have to give him his proper respect. All right, hallelujah. So that ends the Torah reading for today. Our primary text, all right, was Leviticus chapter 2, verse 16 through 17. Now remember, right now we are in the 4th day of the week, the 8th day of the 13th month, and in 23 more nights, we will be in the first month of the new year. In 36 more nights and 36 afternoons, we'll begin the Passover ceremony. And in 37 more nights, when the Passover ceremony is over, we flow right into the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So count those days and mark down that time on your calendar. All right, on your calendar. All right, so all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Hamashiach Yahawashi. All right, you brothers and sisters that joined in and stayed on here. Right, all praise to the Most High. I appreciate, you giving me a little bit of your time today to share the word of the Torah that I would with you. I hope it was beneficial to you spiritually, and I hope you see Yahawashi in these things also. Right. All praise to Yahweh Bashem, Mashiach Yahawashi, Shemai Yasharallah, Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Kad. Hail Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. Barakah Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahawashi. He bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashi the Messiah. And this concludes third Torah Parashah from Vayikra or Vayikra in Leviticus chapter 2, verses 7 through 16. All right, the water. All praise to Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahawashi. Shalom Lakam.